This podcast is dedicated to our dear friend, Barry Scott. He was a husband, a father, a mentor, a teacher, a leader, a director, an actor, a producer, a voiceover artist.
Some stories must be told.
And a motivator. He was a lot of things to so many different people. He made you believe in yourself, even when you didn't, and gave you a story to help you remember. Now, we just celebrated Martin Luther King Day, and Mr. Scott always reminded us to have a dream, just like Martin Luther King did. Barry Scott, we honor, salute, and thank you for your service to the world.
I have a dream. My 4 little children one day may live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Some stories must be told.
My name is William Barry Scott.
I have often wondered to myself, what if Martin Luther King Jr. were alive today? What would he be saying? What would he be doing? What would he be preaching? What would he be teaching? What words would he give us today? What would he say about his great dream for America? Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. Martin Luther King Jr. He had a deep sense of religious vocation. He believed that somehow God had called him to encourage the United States of America to admit that it had mistreated its citizens of African descent who had known slavery, racial discrimination, and deprivation.
Some stories must be told. This is one of them.
They said Oprah couldn't come in.
That's right. I remember that.
So that's what I'm telling you. So you enriching these people, making them multi-millionaires over and over and over and over and over. And then you go to their little store, they won't even let you in.
Yeah.
How insane is that?
Yeah.
And after that, they put out a little apology. We're sorry. We love the black community. We will never do that. We are striving for
of course.
Diversity, You look at the exec board. You look at the people working high up, and it be just a whole bunch of white folks.
You don't even have to go that far. Look at Undercover Boss.
That's true.
I don't have to even go there. I can look at Undercover Boss boardroom. Say, ain't no brother, sister, Mexican, Asian, nothing.
Yeah. Welcome to the TMF podcast, where we have too many feelings. I'm your host, T. Staples, and I'm joined by
It's your main man, Freddie B, in the building.
Oh, yes, he is. I'm glad you're in the building, Freddie, because I heard it's cold outside. So anyway, all y'all listening, we'll bring you all these feelings from the comfort of our homes. That's right, 100% remote. So if you feel our show, show us how you feel by subscribing so you can get notified when the new episodes drop. And if you like what you're hearing, send us a message. Our handles are in the description below. We love to know how you feel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the shifting tides in D.C. and them straight thugs storming the Capitol. That's right, people. Thug-alicious at the Capitol. But first, it's time for a segment I like to call The Internet Never Lost. That's right. In my attempt to navigate through the endless insanity of interconnectivity that we all call the internet, I find myself, lamenting. Is that the right word, Freddie B? I find myself wrestling with the fact that I just watched the most epic, hypocritical moment in history happen. A bunch of folks, white folks mostly, storming the Capitol because they upset at the outcome of our United States election for the president and vice president, that is. So now we got all these people storming the Capitol. I instantly start thinking, where are they friends at? Well, guess what, people? I found one of them. Let's take a listen.
I hope you're fucking happy and sad, you fucking little piss pants pieces of shit. Ooh, we're gonna storm the Capitol. Let's storm the Capitol. We're patriots. You're a fucking coward. Patriots. Jesus Christ. Fucking idiots that I played high school football with wearing a goddamn American flag bandana talking about we gotta get up there and storm. We gotta take our country back. From what? From fucking what? What are you so goddamn upset about? What has anyone ever done to you? You fucking entitled piece of shit. Don't you ever fucking call me one again. Don't you ever say, Corey, you fucking snowflake. You're a liberal. That means that y'all look. What? Want some people to not be sick every now and then? Is this the thing that you can't fucking stand? So you've got to get in your goddamn fucking piece of shit Ford F-150 you got from your dad, drive it to D.C. and pitch a fucking fit? Is that what it is? Is it health care? Is it still with the fucking guns? Is that what is it? You said Obama was taking them. 8 fucking years ago you said that. Nothing. What is it that this country hasn't fucking given you? You literally got escorted out of the Capitol building aside from the ones that they had to fucking shoot. Is that what it takes? Did you just want to be a fucking martyr? God, you're so fucking pathetic. Do you not ever just sit there and think, my kids are going to see this. My grandkids are going to see this. They're going to put it in the textbook and you're going to look like the dumbest motherfucker in the world. Nobody will give a shit about Watergate. Nobody. That is fucking... Dude, I'm out of breath from how stupid y'all are. What is it that this country doesn't give you that you think you have to do some bullshit like this? But when you see a fucking black person actually get shot, no gun in their hands, nothing. Oh, they should just comply. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. What is your goddamn problem? Just quit embarrassing me, man. I want my fucking country back. How about that? God damn it. Fuck y'all, you fucking cowards.
Well, that's definitely a country bama that has the right message. So listen, Corey laid it out pretty flat, for y'all. So that's y'all friend. Y'all need to listen to Corey. All y'all white folks that got a Corey in your life, you need to get the Karens out your life and get a Corey in your life. Okay, white folks, get you a Corey in your life. And so listen, and I kept watching the footage. As I kept seeing stuff, I started wondering myself, what happened to the security? What was going on? Why weren't they prepared for this? Didn't they know that there was a rally right before this happened? Wasn't there security at the rally? What was going on? So I searched around and I found another clip on the internet. This comes from a retired police officer, Butch Jones, one of the founding members of the Black Police Association for the Capitol Hill Police Officers, and a veteran. Let's hear what he had to say about the security and his thoughts on the people storming the Capitol.
I was appalled when I first saw it. No preparation, no outer perimeter, no inner perimeter. They was not prepared at all. Normally, in a situation like this, we usually are with Metropolitan Police, United States Park Police, and Capitol Police. I didn't see any of that yesterday. Also, I didn't see any horses, which is a great crowd stopper. I think they allowed them to do what they did. There was no reason for them to get that close to the Capitol. I didn't see any reforce coming in. Nobody was called in to help them. For the Capitol Police management to not accept the offer from the FBI, the military, I thought that was a shame by itself. To let them guys stay out there by themselves, I thought it was a disgrace. And I blame management, and I also blame the police board, which is made up of the Sergeant at Arms of the House and the Sergeant at Arms of the Senate. They are responsible for the safety of the Capitol Police. Number one, if that was Black Lives Matter, they wouldn't even got that close to the Capitol. They wouldn't even got to the steps of the Capitol. For them to, I remember one day, Louis Farrakhan came up to the Hart Building. This wasn't even a demonstration. He came up to the Hart Building and he had 4 gentlemen with him. And they held the whole department over. And they even had the SWAT team in the garage until he left. 4 guys, plus Louis Farrakhan. They held the whole department over, so they react on certain parties, on the blacks. And I think that they was a part of allowing these people to come up to the Capitol the way they did.
Listen, Freddie B, I'm not going to ask you about these clips right yet because I want to bring in our guest host. So I'm going to say this to the people out there. Do you have a Corey in your life? And how do you feel about the rioters at the Capitol? Send us a message. Our handles are in the description below and let us know how you feel. This has been yours truly in this week's edition of The Internet Never Lost. And it definitely didn't lose this time. And now, here today to discuss the tumultuous times we're in, let me introduce to our listeners attorney, writer, producer, director, and good friend of mine, Cynthia Minor!
Wow.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Cynthia,
hey,
you there? Yeah.
I'm here. How are you?
All right. Hey.
I'm glad to be here.
Man,
I got the grand interest.
Did you get that sound effect from? This dude right here, man.
I liked
Over
it.
here, I wasn't even ready for that.
You wasn't ready for that, Freddie B?
I like that.
Man,
I think that should be my theme music.
I had to bring you in right. You know, the distinguished guest as yourself. You know, I'm so honored and just happy to have you.
Thank you.
So, Freddie B, Cynthia, y'all both heard the clips we just played in the Internet Lost segment. You know, well, first of all, let me just ask y'all, what are your feelings so far about the unfolding of the Capitol incidents that have been happening? You know, I mean, since the attack, well, I guess, would you call it attack? The riot on the Capitol to now. You know, how do you feel? And I'll let my guest, Cynthia, tell us, what are your feelings on this?
You know, the way I look at things is I try to boil things down to its easiest way to say it or think about it. And when I thought about it as I watched it unfold, I thought very simply that white violence equals protest and black protest equals violence. And I think that if you think about it in that context, we witnessed something that will be written in history books. If this republic survives 100 years from now, they'll be talking about it. And we sat and watched it. And we watched a group of people wilding out who, I don't like to do these not fake, but false equivalencies about if it had been Black Lives Matter, if it had been this, it had been these people. It wasn't those people. It was these people who, for whatever reason, good, bad, or indifferent, are of a mindset that they want something that they can't have. Because, see, they can't put me back in chains. I don't know what they want, but I ain't going back. And if that's the goal, because I don't know what the goal is. What is it? I'm like Corey. What you want? What you fighting for?
Right.
So, but I think that as it relates to the violent aspect of it, the reason that people don't know how to react to it appropriately is that it was white violence, and it's easier to look at white violence and say, well, they were just protesting. Whereas if it's black protests, it's easier to say, well, they violent. Yeah. Because they're afraid. And all that stuff I saw yesterday, day before yesterday, was fear to me. It just looked like fear. Last week. It was a week ago, right? Oh, yeah, almost a week ago. It on just looked like, on the 6th, it just looked like fear run amok. And I'm not excusing any of their behavior. But we got to call a thing a thing.
Yeah, and a thug a thug.
And a thug, because I heard somebody, I kind of remember his name, it kind of sounded like Dump. He said when the looting started, the shooting started, but I didn't see no shooting.
Right, but I did see some looting, that's right.
So, that's it.
Yeah, and I think you're 100% right. You know, it was not a peaceful protest by any means. The glass was broken, offices were intruded upon, things were stolen. People were
killed.
An officer died.
And an officer
got beat with a fire extinguisher or something. Like, not even just immediately killed. He got bludgeoned to death.
Yeah.
And so, Freddie B, your thoughts on what you saw.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is a viral clip that went viral some years back. It's a coach by the name of Dennis Green. I think he was a coach of the Bears at the time.
Minnesota.
Was he? Oh, he was coaching Minnesota at the time.
Yeah, I'm a Chicago Bear fan.
Okay. So they were playing the Chicago Bears, were they?
Okay.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, but he was coaching the Vikings, and I forgot who they played, but they lost. And people, at the press conference, people asked Dennis Green, like what happened. He was like, "They were who he thought they were. They were who they fucking thought we were." And he was smacking the podium and all that type of stuff.
They're what we thought they were. The Bears are who we thought they were. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
But yeah, like that clip right there. That's what just pops in my mind with this. It's like, what happened, is, they were who we thought they were. This is what black people know. You've been around white people, that entitlement, the privilege. Is like, you feel like, I've seen it many a times. I remember one time I was in the airport, and this white lady wanted to skip the line. I was an LG. The line was long. I mean, legit. The line was long as hell to go to security. It snaked out of security and went down a corridor all the way around back to check-in. Back to, when you go up to the desk to check into your flight, the line wrapped behind all the check-in desks and then came back around in front of the check-in desk. It was long as hell. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not gonna front at all. But this older white lady, she felt like she walked up and she felt like she could. And the reason why it was long because they didn't have what's her name, pre-check.
Pre-check. Gotcha.
Yeah, TSA. It was just one line.
Oh, speaking of which, both of y'all on the phone, Miss Cynthia and Freddie both put me on the global entry. I remember that was a request by Cynthia for me to get it, and Freddie was like, "Go ahead, do it, man. You get it for free with your credit card." But go ahead. I'm sorry. I digress. Go ahead, Freddie.
Global entry is love. I've
I love it. I love it.
Like I get it so fast. I beat my bags to the
me
too. Yeah. And you just feel important when you come. Everybody waiting in line to check in. Right. Like, man, y'all can have that. I'm right over here. But yeah, she walked up to the line. The line was long, and she showed her little stuff to the officer. But everybody had to wait in line. Like, everybody had to wait. It didn't matter what you had to wait in this long ass line. But she was like, no, and she started arguing with the guy. And she was like, this is ridiculous. And she just stood there and just demanded. And it's like, how can you feel so entitled? Like, look at this line. It's one line. Get in line. But that's what we saw at the Capitol. And I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, saying like kind of what you said, false equivalencies, is really pointless. Like, we know what time it is. We know, like, yeah, if that was a bunch of black folks up there, oh man, they would have brought out street sweepers and AKs and start mowing mugs down. Like, and then run up in the Capitol?
Yeah. They still be putting toe tags on black people.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Run up in the Capitol and take a podium and break in Pelosi's office? Come on.
And like Butch Jones said on our clip, he said, they wouldn't have made it past the steps.
No.
I thought that was very telling that in revealing that somebody who actually was working on the force to say that, because I know I've said that, but I've been a civilian. I've only visited, DC, and I've seen the monuments. So for me as a civilian, I'm looking at the fact that Black Lives Matter protested at the Capitol, and they had what looked like a mini army on the steps of the Capitol to prevent them from, progressing too far up the stairs. So now when he says that as a police officer, I'm like, oh, that's to me legitimizing that thought. Like, yeah, no, y'all wouldn't have made, if it had been any other protest, they wouldn't have made it past the first, what do you say, the first gate or the first layer. Like,
they wouldn't have made it into the circle around the Capitol. You wouldn't have gotten that far, because typically when you have a parade in Washington, D.C., you have to have all kind of permits before you have the parade. And I'm just trying to figure out how was this group allowed to even march from the White House or from the Ellipse to the Capitol without a permit.
And also, and so that's exactly what my comment was going to be, is because the police is in cahoots, like, and that's why people been talking about defund the police and all that, because you got police officers who feel the exact same way, and they're like, yeah, rooting them on, like, yeah, go ahead and go in, letting them slide in. It's kind of like the times I've been, Thomas has been with me. We've been to events where it's big security backstage. It's like, okay, can't nobody go, but then I walk up and I know security. Oh, Freddie B, what's up? Oh, okay, and they just let us back. We just walk back.
That happened to us. I mean, well, especially in our hometown. Well, I'm not from Nashville, but I lived in Nashville for the majority of my grown-up life.
You're adopted. Adopted hometown.
Yeah, my adopted hometown. And yeah, like I remember that it's you kind of get the big head with that too, because like Freddie B said, you'll walk up somewhere and because they done seen you or they know you, it make you feel good to just be able to walk past, but also you realize there's other people who like probably should be ahead.
Right.
It's
I've walked in clubs with outside food to drink. with bottles of liquor that I bought at the liquor store just because I know the security. Like, oh, that's Freddie B. Like, I walk in with a bottle that I bought at the liquor store for $20-something dollars, or walk in with McDonald's, and I done all types of goofy stuff in the club. But I know all the security, and I just walk in. So that's essentially what we saw. We saw people who Trump supporters, they racist, the whole nine. And one thing I like to make clear, I don't. Some people like to just make synonymous racist and Trump supporters. I don't like to do that because I don't like to generalize like that. But we saw both, and a lot of them did probably overlapped. But then you got in the police, you got the people who believe the same thing, and they're like, okay, brother, sister, my friend, come on in. I don't know why I did like a little African accent with that, but which
I know where he was going to Jamaican accent.
Right. But they saw their friends like, yeah, go on in, do y'all thing. We support you.
Well, I got a little clip I want to play because as we're talking about, the fact that the people seem to just walk through the doors, I always look at, where it comes from. And a lot of people say, look at the head. The directions come from the head. So here's what Trump said. This is a little clip for you guys, and I'm pretty sure you probably already heard the speech. But if you haven't, here's a couple snippets of his speech right before the riots happened.
They rigged an election. They rigged it like they've never rigged an election before. And by the way, last night they didn't do a bad job either, if you notice. I'm honest, and I want to thank you. It's just a great honor to have this kind of crowd and to be before you and hundreds of thousands of American patriots who are committed to the honesty of our elections and the integrity of our glorious republic. All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore, and that's what this is all about. So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol, and we're going to try and give. The Democrats are hopeless. They're never voting for anything. Not even one vote. But we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help. We're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country. So let's walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I want to thank you all. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you all for being here. This is incredible. Thank you very much.
He said, let's walk down there. Let's walk down. Now, I don't know why he would say that, but Cynthia, Ms. Minor.
Yes,
Cynthia,
sir.
Would you say that he's, is the word inciting a riot?
He incited an insurrection. It was more than a riot.
I'm glad you said that. Insurrection. I like that.
Because a riot has a limited point, but an insurrection has the intent to overthrow a government. And he intended by his minions and direction to see to the overthrow of a government, in my opinion. Particularly when the timing piece, that's what keeps getting me as a trial lawyer. The timing piece is what's a problem for me, because it was just at the same time that Pence and the Electoral College were certifying the elector votes.
Wow.
So how could it be that at the exact same time that they were doing the votes, and here these people come walking down the street?
Exactly.
Why wasn't it after that? Why he could have had his thing after that? He could have had it way earlier in the morning. But he decided at that particular time and that particular moment to threaten, seize, and disrupt a branch of government, and was successful. So they won that. They did that thing.
Yeah.
Because that's why I said you got to call a thing a thing. Their goal was to disrupt the count. They did that.
Wow.
They
did.
And that's insurrection. Even though they came back later, they could have, they all of them are kind of a weak-kneed and jellyfish to me, but they decided to stay.
Yeah.
And they finished, not that they couldn't do anything else. And the two most important people in the whole building that day, the four most important people in the whole building that day, were the people who grabbed those boxes and ran down the hall with them. Because I think that's what really they were after. They were after those boxes.
With the electoral votes in them?
Yeah, with the certified electoral votes in it.
Yeah.
Crazy. And you know what kind of hoopla would it have been in all these states if they had to go back to each one of these states and get the recertification?
That's good news. I didn't even think about what you just said. That's good news that somebody was grabbing those boxes and running down the hallway. Because I hadn't even thought about it, because I'm looking at what I can't tell whether they are senators or House Representative people, but congressmen, for lack of better words, ducking and hiding behind chairs. Wow, they're hitting the walls, knocking on stuff. You're hearing bangs and pops, and you don't know if it's a bang on the door or a shot or a gun going off.
Right.
And I can only imagine that, like you said, those people who grabbed them boxes really are kind of almost like American heroes.
They're the hero. They're the heroes of the whole story, because I bet you dollars to donuts that somebody told those guys, get those boxes. I bet you. I bet, as they say, well, I'm from cash money. Yeah.
yeah.
The police, I'm pretty sure the police is like, yo, look, it's the boxes. Grab the boxes.
Right.
If y'all gonna get something, get the boxes.
Get those boxes. Why else would you have zip ties and all kind of stuff to tie people up and all? And that cat was from Nashville, Thomas.
Oh wow, the guy that they got,
yeah, the guy with the zip tie, all black on and the zip ties.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him.
He was from good old Smashville,
Tashville, Tennessee. When they pushing them keys, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about keys. Last time the government cut me off.
Right? He put a signal turn on again. Like, yes, keys. We found where you can get keys.
Is that black boy up there in New York
City?
Golly, boy.
They're gonna show up. But yeah, I mean, we witnessed the coup. Like that was.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that
coup
was
d'etat.
Coup.
Is it coup d'etat or
well,
coup
it was an
d'etat?
attempt. It was a coup attempt, but it wasn't successful.
It was
right, and it's like well, this is America. Like this, we not a third world country with.
Yes,
like,
we are. Yes, we are.
Right. Well, I always hear first world. Well, what's second world? What's that? Is there such thing? Such a thing?
Who in the second world?
Right, because always the first and third.
That's Mexico.
It's just first and third. It's just first and third world country. But yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it just blew my mind that more people wasn't shot. I mean, because I'm looking at I'm thinking if there's a time that I'm gonna shoot somebody. Because I saw that video that one police officer leading the people away from something he's supposed to be, and and a crowd was chasing him upstairs. He running away. I'm like, y'all need to stop. You come close, one of y'all gonna get hit.
Right.
Let me tell you about that brother from sources I know. That brother is also a hero of the hour, even though he looked very unheroic at the time. But
well, he got a crowd of people with us. All he got is a stick. He got to run.
No. But listen though, the brother was leading the crowd away from the open door of the Senate chamber where they still were. If you watch the video, when you get to the top of the stairs, the brother kind of goes to the one side and leans against the door and glances. And if you look down that hall, that's the open chamber of the Senate floor. So he ran the other way, and they followed him. Giving the guys inside time to barricade the door and get the senators to a place of safety. So he too was a hero in the situation, because if those guys had gotten in that Senate chamber, they'd have gotten 4 or 5 or 6 senators.
Wow. And what's interesting? I actually saw like the chambers. Because a few of them, I think, ended up making it in, but they had already cleared the chambers out by the time they got in. And the upper, I guess it's like an upper balcony area.
There's a balcony.
They had people tucked down and kind of behind the seats, and so they ended up getting those people out as well. They kind of walked them out. Amidst all this drama, we still have that night. I think at 3:30 a.m. the next morning, they finally certify. Or is it called certifying the election or solidify?
Yes. Certify.
Certifying the election. And now we have President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris are now. Yep, that's right.
You're ACA? AKA?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So your Soror are now officially going to be our president and vice president of the United States, come January 20th. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of curious, now that they've gotten them in, what kind of power do they have? Can they participate in any of the process of helping to get these people who didn't infiltrate or were a part of the insurrection of the Capitol in jail? Do they have any participation in this, or are they just sitting on the sidelines until it's time for them to go into office?
They're sitting on the sidelines until it's time for them to go in the office. Donald Trump has all the power until noon on January the 20th. It's still his country until then.
Gotcha.
And when they go into office, they can start the Attorney General's office and Justice Department in looking at and bringing charges against these insurrectionists and rioters who tried to seize the U.S. Capitol last week, and they should. I've had several calls from some of my other folks down here in Nashville wanting me to talk about some of this stuff, and I'm just not going to do it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's why I was glad that you called, because I said I'm not talking to y'all no more. I'm tired of talking to y'all.
I'm so glad the Black Outlet got some love. Woo! Charlemagne the God should be proud of us.
Here's my question: When do you impeach? Because I don't understand being the senator or whoever is in charge of impeaching him. Because I feel like all the senators and the reps and stuff that were in there, aren't they supposed to be in charge of getting that going?
Well, there are two parts of the Congress: the Senate and the House of Representatives. Right. The House of Representatives is the outfit that impeaches the president. So once they impeach the president by a majority vote of the House of Representatives, the charge that they impeached him on is then walked down the hall to the Senate. And in the Senate is who tries the president. They try the president and they remove the president from office. Right. And what what's his name? Mitch McConnell has said is that there's not enough time, in as much as there's only 7-8 days left. And my retort to that, you put in a Supreme Court justice in 8 days. You can call a vote in 8 days.
My retort to that is you was hiding in the Capitol. Like, what? You do that to me, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not leaving until we're done.
Yeah, well, but see, I don't know what kind of Kool-Aid Trump was serving these people. I do know what it was. It's power. Man. But the thing is, they will vote on the article of impeachment probably in the next couple of days. I think that they were putting together a resolution to send to Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment. And if he doesn't do it, then right after that, they're going to have the argument on the floor, and then they're going to impeach Donald Trump probably tomorrow or Thursday. Right.
I actually have the House resolution too, a clip of them actually. If you had never heard what this sounds like, they're calling. I think they called for the 25th Amendment to be invoked. And here's a clip from the House.
House Resolution 21, resolution calling on Vice President Michael R. Pence to convene and mobilize the principal officers of the executive departments of the cabinet to activate Section 4 of the 25th Amendment to declare President Donald J. Trump incapable of executing the duties of his office and to immediately exercise powers as acting president.
For what purpose does the gentleman from West Virginia rise?
I object.
Objection is heard. Pursuant to Section 5A1B of the House Resolution 8, the House stands adjourned to 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay, so what I just heard there sounded like Kung Fu Panda to me when I first heard it. But Cynthia, would you mind breaking it down? Because it sounds like they want to invoke an amendment or something to take him out, or to something to do with Pence.
Well, the 25th Amendment to the Constitution gives the cabinet and the vice president the authority to go and meet with the president, and by acclamation, by majority vote of the cabinet, that's the Secretary of State, Secretary of Interior, Secretary, all them secretaries.
Is that why they all resigned?
That's why they all ran out there like rats leaving a sinking ship. But
everybody except for Ben Carson, right?
But we ain't heard from Ben. Ben got the COVID. I don't even know if Ben's still alive.
He was asleep. Yeah, he was some rest. You know he was asleep. Yeah.
Ben in the nursing home. We don't know where Ben is.
Everybody been calling him. Everybody been saying Sleepy Ben. Why is he asleep?
Because he asleep.
We don't know where Ben. You have not seen Ben since they said Ben had COVID, so I don't know where Ben is. But anyway, they get to by majority vote. Kick the president out. They invoke the 25th Amendment, which states that if a president is incapable of doing his duty, then he's got to go. And I think that nothing more has shown, or if he acts in such a way to put the country in peril, then he's got to go. Because everybody, every lawyer, every congressman, every senator, and everybody who's in any position that gives you privileges pursuant to the state, you have to raise your hand and take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States and defend it against enemies, foreign and domestic. All of us had to do that, and all of them had to do that too. And the president had to do that. And certainly when we thought of defending the Constitution against an enemy, you didn't know the enemy was going to be in the White House.
Right.
So, anyway, Pence gets to do that. Pence is not going to do that. So with him not doing that, then the Congress then can go ahead with this impeachment, because that's as much as the Congress can do to the president is impeach him. That's as much as they can do. And they can, they can do something like censures and say we're offering a censure, but Donald Trump doesn't care about a censure. Right. That's like timeout. You in timeout. It's just a piece of paper that says that you were a bad president and you shouldn't do it anymore.
That's interesting. So we got impeachment, which is the 25th was the first thing they tried, right? And then they said,
that's the resolution that the man just read.
Right. And so if Pence don't fall through with that, then the next thing they're going, which is they've already, I think, filed the papers for impeachment or something. They filed something.
They drafted them.
Right. And so then they're going to move forward with impeachment. But if impeachment is looking gloomy, what about, and this is something I don't think a lot of people have thought about, what about the 14th Amendment? What about the 14th? It talks about, there's a section of the 14th Amendment that talks about those who incite insurrection or rebellion against the United States. Can be removed. Can be removed. And I thought about that. I was like, what about that one?
You have to have 3/4. You have to have a 3/4 vote for that, and they don't have the votes.
Got you.
Because unless the Republicans some kind of or another grow a pair and do the right thing.
But wait a minute. So the Republicans have to grow up. But what about, so while all this stuff was happening at the Capitol, people, let me remind you that day was supposed to be a day of celebration because Georgia is officially a blue state. Woo! Thank goodness, Jim Clyburn. Thank goodness, Stacey Abrams. Give that queen some flowers, roses. She need to be doing something. We were supposed to be celebrating that day. And this event happened. So why can't these two new, senators, right? Because they got Senate seats,
right?
Why can't these two new senators somehow participate in that 3/4, or they're not eligible until January 20th either?
They're not eligible yet until that time. But
so we still red until the 20th, basically. Everything's still on red down until January 20th.
Mitch is in charge until the 20th.
Mitch in his zombie hand. Is his hand still a zombie?
Does Mitch McConnell look like Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies to anybody else but me?
Oh, snap.
I know, like, the ragamuffin. I don't know what he look like.
He look just like Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies to me.
That is crazy. But once they get in, then we'll be able to, so after the 20th, then we should see a shift in the country morals and everything, that's happening should, I guess, because they can impeach Donald Trump after he's left office, right? He can still be impeached, technically.
Well, he will be impeached before he leaves office.
Got you. So
he
that
just won't be tried. He just won't be tried by the Senate before he leaves office.
Oh.
And my understanding is that they're going to try him after he leaves office. And why do that? Well, the reason that you do that is because since if they decide to find him guilty of the crimes that the impeachment resolution suggests, then he'll never be able to run for a federal office again as long as he lives.
And he won't get his pension.
You won't get any of those perks, huh? Or those?
All his presidential perks.
Yeah,
that's from what I read.
Yeah, he would lose. He would just have to. It would have to be Usay and Kusay Trump who would have to protect him from that point.
Yeah, but I kind of feel more comfortable with that though. That one of the things I think for me, a lot of people want him impeached for whatever reasons they don't like him. But one of the things I really have stuck to, even when I talk to people, is I want to see him removed from office. I don't care about a 25th or the whatever number they need to use to get him out of there, because I do not want to pay or use my tax dollars to pay for his post-president, activity, post-presidency activity.
His library. Because
every president gets a library, but I think that's a separate division.
Oh, regardless?
The federal government gives all the presidents some money for their libraries, but most libraries are paid for with private dollars because they can't build these edifices for the amount of money it takes.
It just seemed like it was separate, but I'm glad you cleared that up because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to pay for this man library or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for when he get impeached. Somebody on the internet, because they're gonna do it. They're gonna make a clip of The Apprentice, and somebody gonna look at him like, Donald Trump, you fired. Somebody's gonna do it, and that's what I'm waiting on, and I can't wait to retweet it.
They already got signs up around the White House saying you're fired.
Oh snap!
So
I got it. So the Department of the Justice, the DOJ, I think it's Department of Justice, right? The FBI, they had a little press conference earlier today, and the acting U.S. Attorney of the DOC, District of Columbia, Michael Sherwin, he came on and he had some remarks, and I want to ask you a couple questions about these remarks. Take a listen to this.
Looking just at the federal system, we'll try to do that via criminal complaint. So when these actors left the Capitol, these individuals, these defendants, obviously the impetus, the marching orders by federal law enforcement was to find, fix, and charge these individuals as fast as possible. So the prosecutors from the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office, we looked for the most simple charge we could file as quick as possible. So therefore, the initial charges filed in these cases, a lot of them were misdemeanors. They were trespass cases. However, those cases were opened on those initial charges. We also had several firearms charges. We also had several felony charges that were opened with assault and battery, illegal felonious possession of weapons. However, I want to clarify a misconception. This is only the beginning. So after these criminal charges are filed via criminal complaints, that allows law enforcement across the United States to arrest people from Dallas to Arkansas to Nashville to Cleveland to Jacksonville. And that's what's happened over the past several days. It's really quite incredible. Now, after those charges are filed, then we have the ability to then indict these individuals on more significant charges. And that's exactly what has happened. For example, yesterday, again, only days after this event happened, we had the grand jury in the District of Columbia up. It was booked throughout the entire day, and for several hour upon hour, prosecutors in our office presented felony cases, significant felony cases related to civil disorder, related to the possession of destructive devices, related to the possession of semi-automatic weapons that are illegal to possess in the district. So again, I just want to clarify that the initial charges we're filing, some of these misdemeanors, these are only the beginning. This is not the end.
Is this a normal tactic? Because it sounds like they're using tactics like we're going to get them on these smaller things so we can get them into the system, and then we can place bigger charges on these people's on these different people we're arresting. And I'm kind of curious, is that normally how they do things? That kind of seems nefarious to me. Like, if they did it, shouldn't they just get charged with what they did?
Well, there's a variety of reasons why that happens in the criminal justice system, because in most types of criminal charges, there's something called lesser included offenses. And if they charge you with jaywalking, well, not jaywalking, let me say, they charge you with shoplifting, that will get you into the system. And then they charge you later with grand theft because you stole a car. then now you have a longer time in jail to spend if you're found guilty. So it's always been an effective way of getting people in, and it's also an effective way of squeezing people too, to tell what they know. Because
that's what I was thinking. Like, is this a bigger ploy to?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That takes place all the time in the criminal justice system. And, you see it. You've seen enough episodes of Law and Order to see how they do it.
I knew it. I was sitting there thinking like, man, this is some TV stuff. And see, and me working in media, I always have to like try to step back. Like, wait a minute, sometimes we make fictitious stuff. So I don't know what's going on right now, but it sounds like a plot to another Law and Order story. Like when he was talking,
Yeah, but that happens. That happens quite often if they really want to get the person off the street. And because you have to charge people with what you can prove, or you should charge people what you can prove. And sometimes
it's
takes
not what
longer.
you did, is what you can prove.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it takes longer to find out everything you did. They keep you locked up until they can really build a fat file on you and let you know that the difference between your life now is an ankle monitor or 20 years living beneath Fred.
Right. And so
not you, Fred, but another Fred.
Fred was right.
I was like,
oh my God.
Right, I'm like, 2020 was already bad. I mean, what you trying to tell me, Esquire? Like,
no.
Now, there's a $50,000 reward to find out information for the anything about the two pipe bombs, I guess, that were left outside of the RNC and DNC offices, which they say are close or nearby the Capitol building. And I'm kind of curious as to this just seems weird to me. This is the District of Columbia, right? This is DC. They ain't got no cameras outside the offices of the RNC and the DNC to monitor the doors. Like, they don't know who set them things down there. And they say they were real bombs. They had timers, and they actually had to to destroy them or to set them off under a certain special circumstances, because they were actually real bombs. They were not like decoys. They were like real live bombs.
They have somebody on video. They have a person. Okay. They just don't have he was smart enough or knew enough about the camera system in the area, or knew enough about surveillance cameras in general, to keep his head down and his face covered. But they have his physical description as it relates to height, weight. They're gonna find him. You can believe that.
Because I think nowadays they'll piece together video. They'll like do that one and then keep going back. Like, okay, you left from this side, so there's a camera. Keep piecing it back.
Yeah.
But then it's hard to see people's face now because you got masks. You gotta have a mask on you outside. But and he
did it outside. They're gonna find him. You can believe. If they don't find anybody else in this whole scenario, they're going to find the mass bomber. You can believe that.
Right. And I hope they do. They talked about having over 100,000 or so pieces of evidence already turned in from the Capitol riots to even that situation. They've got 60 people who are right now facing charges: felony, murder, civil rights, inciting riots, and what is this? Sedition? Is it sedition? Sedition?
Sedition.
Okay, what in the world is sedition?
Sedition.
What is that?
What everybody is calling a coup attempt and all that kind of stuff, and insurrection. Sedition is the action and taking action against the government, to overthrow the government.
Gotcha.
That's sedition. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so question. So all these charges, these are federal charges, right? So the feds are trying to find it. Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
So yeah, you're right. Yeah, the feds. Yeah. 6ix9ine said it in the Breakfast Club interview. He was like, he's scared of like two things. He said the feds and God. So the feds the feds probably pretty much know who he is, but they just putting out there like, anybody want to just confirm it for us, we'll throw you 50,000 wild. We'll go ahead and throw that to you if you want to just confirm it. But other than that, we gonna drop that hammer soon.
Oh, they want him to relax and think that they don't know who he is, but they will get him.
You can't play with them feds, boy. Nope. You can't play with them feds.
Nope, not with the gear they have. I have a friend who used to work for the CIA. His job was putting the bugs in buildings, and he said that all over the world, and just a little weird looking little brother. Just you would never pick him out of crowd. But anyway, I digress. But but he said the thing that stuck with me that he always said was that whatever technology you have now that the public has is 15 years behind.
Oh yeah.
He said he said they had the FBI and CIA and all these detection outfits have satellites that can pick a raindrop on one leaf in the forest.
Wow.
Man, you know what? I wholeheartedly believe you, because there is a movie that came out before 9/11. So this will really give you an idea. A movie came out before 9/11 called Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman and Will Smith. You seen that movie? Yeah, you seen it. If anybody out there, you seen that movie and see how they was tracking Will Smith. And this is before the Patriot Act, before 9/11. And this was like well over 20 years ago. Just imagine what they got now, man. This is insane.
He said he went before he retired. He said that he would just be bowled over at the level of technology, surveillance technology, face recognition, voice recognition, carbon print recognition. Everybody has an individual carbon print. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, you got your own little carbon print.
Yeah, that's why I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing wrong. Let me tell you why. Because it's so easy to find me. Like I'm not the most public person, but I'm just like, man, I done been over here, been over here.
So that's why you don't do nothing wrong, Thomas.
I don't do nothing wrong.
Not because it's just wrong.
I don't do nothing.
No moral issue.
Right. Yeah. That's. I ain't trying to get this. I don't like the idea of jail. I don't like the idea of handcuffs. I don't even have them in the bedroom. I don't want nothing. No handcuffs. None of that. You can't get me. That's too much like bondage. I don't like that. Anything that restricts me, because I might freak out. You know what I'm saying? I can't deal. So okay, going forward, I know we all want to look toward the future. We want to see a brighter day, a happier day, the greener pastures. I'm kind of curious. Do we think that now that this is kind of like have happened in our past, are we going to start looking at each other a little differently? And one of the things that I've come to realize is that even though all this has happened, half of America still voted for Donald Trump, which means there's some people who really believe that his way or whatever, something about him was right for our country, and that's to me that is very telling.
I mean, I will say, hindsight 2020. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people that you gonna get
them some grace.
No, I mean, no, I'm just keeping it a buck. I mean, if you think about it, like it's I think we all have people in our lives over our lifetime that at one point in time we treated them nice or thought lovely of them or whatever, and then they did something bogus, and then it's like if you had that information when you were treating them nice, you probably wouldn't have done that. I mean, we've all dated people. You can go down the line. So I mean, like I said, I will say that I'm pretty sure the 71 million people who voted for him, if you could go back, he would probably lose a lot of votes.
I hope that's true.
I think that first of all, half of America didn't vote at all. So
that's true. That is true.
Of the people, so I don't know where they stand on things, but
I love it.
But
half of niggas ain't vote. So I don't know what they think.
So, but the ones who did vote, and everybody who's from Nashville, we have to deal with our melanin challenged friends who did vote for him, all of whom I have deleted and blocked and unfriended.
Right.
Because you can't be a supporter of this man and be my friend and be a racist. I put it out on the TV, the radio, to whatever this is, so that everybody will know. Because I guess I don't know if I'm the oldest person on the phone today or on the podcast today, but I probably am. Mm-hmm. And this isn't new territory that we're on. This isn't new. I don't think too many black people were sitting around clutching their pearls as we watched this happen. We've seen this happen on our streets all the time. It's just within a different type of way.
Yeah.
And so I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it hasn't happened before now. I think the white people are surprised because for the first time, for most of them, they see how we felt a long time with regard to police busting in the door, knocking stuff down. You know, it's to me, it's just, as Malcolm X said, the chicken's coming home to roost.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you this question. You know, the protest that you see today versus protests from back in the day, or things that we may have seen, you know, the tapes of, you know, do you guys, are you seeing a difference in the types of protests that we saw 60s and 70s that we see nowadays?
Well, I was at the protest in 1968 in Grant Park when the Chicago police wilded out at the Democratic Convention. And I saw, from a very safe distance, because, you know, black folks know when to start running. That was the funny thing to me. That when the police start getting out the cars, all the black folks like, okay, it's time to run.
What's that lady from Georgia, Angela Stanton, who's a Trump supporter, who said, I could feel something was happening, so I got out of there before the
Right.
Now she's a pro-Trump supporter, and she said she got up out of there while he was still on stage. She said, "Well, why he in the middle of the speech? It's getting a little wild. Let me leave."
That is so crazy. Black people got this sixth sense. They can just
we do.
Like,
But we
it's time to
do.
go.
But we do have that. And that's why we've survived so long in this country, because we do have that. Our danger meter is real revved up.
That's right.
And I remember
I think every black person been at a club and you be there and you like, hey, let's go. Let's
go.
Yeah.
Let's go. And that's what grasped me at the time, is watching all the little black kids run toward Soldier Field back over there. I mean, we were hauling too, because we knew if anybody got their head busted, it was going to be one of us.
Wow.
First. But when we looked back and saw them busting heads of these white kids who were not armed, who were just protesting, who were yelling and screaming and saying ho, ho, Ho Chi Minh, and saying the whole world is watching and all this old kind of stuff, I was struck the other day that these people, many of these people who are out there, were the children of these protesters in the 60s.
Wow.
So what happened between the 60s, when we were out there marching in the streets for civil rights, for this and that and the other, and all these white kids were hippies and they were all this love and peace and, you know, stop the war and all this old kind of stuff.
Right.
What happened in this country that turned them into purveyors or raising this whole generation of people who would do such a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's media, and more specifically social media.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think now we live in a world because black wealth has decreased since then. You know, like black people had more money back in the, you know, as a community, more wealth in the 50s and 60s than we have now, surprisingly. And so I think that, you know, your smarter white people that usually are Democratic, they know that. They know, and it's the different things that they're put in place to, you know, continue to suppress black wealth. The poor whites, who are normally Republican, they don't know that. They look at media, look at social media, and you see, like, you know, rappers, athletes, and they think that, okay, we're doing better than we've ever had. We got all this money now, and so then they're railing against that because they're poor and white, so they don't connect with the culture, which is what they see. The entertainers and athletes, they don't connect with that. They don't see themselves as being a part of that. And then in the overall establishment, the corporate America, they don't see where they fit in there. So they feel like, hey, no, like we're losing the country, like we're getting left behind. Because the thing is you go back to way back to the 10s and the 20s, and like here in New York, the Irish and the black people were all poor, and the Irish and the black people live where Central Park is right now. So Central Park used to be where people live, but the city wanted to create that big park, and they wanted to kick people out. The Irish and the black people. So the Irish, they like, hold on, we're white just like them, but we're being discriminated against. But it was like, it's always been the poor white people. They feel good if they're not at least where the poor black people are. And so they'll turn and join the establishment to push poor black people down. But now it's a feeling of poor white people feel like poor black people are passing them. It's like this illusion that's created by the media, and specifically social media.
That's good.
Well, I know that because I'm writing a story about it now, and it's called The Thing, and the thing is I took from Martin Luther King when he was debating Malcolm X, is the thingification of Black people, and as long as you can thingify a group of people, then you can act crazy toward them because they're no longer human; they're a thing.
Wow.
And you can do anything to a thing.
To a thing, right. You dehumanize it, right.
You can dehumanize it. You can say these things are the reason for the problem. It's the whole process of the reason that you can't do what Thomas is doing is because Thomas has taken your spot. Now let's not equate into that Thomas has education, Thomas knows tech, Thomas knows this, that's irrelevant.
Right.
You can't do what I can do, but I should still be in that spot. Is the thingified notion that they have.
Ooh, I've experienced that right there. Ooh.
All of us have. Yeah. All of us have.
I've heard it so much. Like, you read it all the time on social media. Like, affirmative action. See, they're not even qualified to be there. And they took a spot from a qualified white person.
Which one? I had a conversation with a lady, and she was saying, all these Mexicans are coming over here taking all our jobs and all this. I said, well, which job one of them have that you want? Right. I mean, you want to pick the celery, or do you want to throw the bricks, or you want to cut the grass?
Grass and oranges, what you want?
Any one of them have that you want?
Right. Yeah. I think that's very interesting too, because I got a clip for you guys that I want you to check out. It comes from our own Dr. Buddy Lee, and it kind of goes along with the conversation. Let's take a listen to this.
Rashard Brooks. No police were killed in this case. Daniel Prude. No police were killed in this case. George Floyd. No police were killed in this case. Breonna Taylor. No police were killed in this case. Eric Gardner. No police were killed in this case. Tatiana Jefferson. No police were killed in this case. Michael Brown. No police were killed in this case. Tamar Rice. No police were killed in this case. Walter Scott. No police were killed in this case. Alton Sterling. No police were killed in this case. Philando Castile. No police were killed in this case. Ahmaud Arbery. No police were killed in this case. We marched because we're getting killed. Insurrection at the Capitol. Incited by the president. Committed by his supporters. A police officer at the Capitol was killed. I haven't seen one Back to Blue, Blue Lives Matter, or anything else posted. Not one. Y'all are rioting because you didn't get your way. The diagnosis: we are not the same.
Ooh.
Man.
Dr. Buddy Lee.
Buddy Lee, he be creating sonic journeys. No police were killed. No police case. No police were killed in this case. I mean, but all jokes aside,
it's sad.
What else can you say? Yeah, exactly. You think about it, it's like all these things happen. We protested, and I don't recall not a police officer dying, and I really feel like if a police officer had died, like, oh my God, all hell would have broke loose. But like I said at the beginning, they were who we thought they were. Like, this ain't, I think it's black people now. Like, I think what you said earlier, Cynthia, talking about us looking at people differently. Like, my view of people has changed a little bit from the standpoint of, like, now I just expect black people to support black businesses, like other black people. So it's like I don't. It's just weird when I see black people, like, now I got Gucci, I got Louis Vuitton, or like stunting about they got all this European or Caucasian business products, and it's like, okay, like, you will impress me if you start naming off black designers,
right?
Black
you got some
products.
Jeffs, not some George, but you got some Jeffs.
Right, you'll impress me then. If you tell me
did you go to
got,
Nails
like, shoes,
to eat?
Clothes, right? That's what impress. That's what would be impressive to
Princess
me.
Hot Chicken. Don't go to How to Be Princess Hot Chicken. Did you go there?
You can rattle off black businesses that you support. Like, that's but you got, like, now Louis Vuitton, Gucci, none of that. Like, I don't look at that none like, oh, you fly, I see you killing them. Like, I honestly could care less.
Did you buy some Ivy Park? And I'm talking the non-Adidas version, the straight Beyonce version. Ivy Park. Did you get some of that in your collection? Did you get a box from Beyonce? No, I definitely agree. I think we definitely have to, we are not being fairly like looked at in the situations that happen when we protest. You know, somebody said something. This woman who stormed the Capitol was killed, but she was killed because she stormed the Capitol. But Breonna Taylor was killed because she was asleep. Like it was.
Somebody put say her name for her. I'm like, no, we don't say her name.
We're not saying
we saw the video.
We can say her name stupid.
Right.
You know? Like I saw the video. She was climbing through a broken window and the dude had the gun out. Like what?
Yeah.
You could tell she wasn't from the hood. Because she wait a minute, it's a gun over there.
You heard the guy hold the camera say, he's like, oh, it's a gun. He stepped to the side. Let me just step to the side. Y'all see the gun? It's a gun. Yeah. And she kept, but yeah, it.
And then she got shot once though. That's the crazy part about it. Like she got shot one time. Like all these other people got shot 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times.
Right. Well, Capital Karen met her match that day.
Capital Karen. I like that. We got to take that one with us. So look, Freddie B, what do you want to see come out of this whole situation? I know we're getting ready to come into a new presidency. We're going into a new administration. What do you want to see at the end of the day? You know, I all know we want Donald Trump out. I think that's synonymous. I don't know. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, he's leaving. He's leaving one way or another.
Right. So, so what do you want to see, Freddie B?
I mean, from Biden, I would like to see these student loans forgiven, like he was talking about, that he was referring to.
Just give me 10 grand, buddy. Just give me 10 grand. Please,
right.
come on.
You know, I haven't forgotten. Like, I did not forget. I have remembered that, and that is on my mind. So I need for him to go ahead and knock Navient, Navient, a.k.a. Sally Mae. She keep trying to change her name.
I know, but we still dating.
Right. Yeah, we see you. Like,
the worst girlfriend I ever had, boy. Take all your money, don't give you no love.
Trying to identify as a new person, like, no, that don't go for you. So, I need him to forgive those off top. And then, if he got another stimulus in his pocket, he need to go ahead and drop that off on us. And then, as far as the people as a whole, my view is like black people. My view is like on stuff we can control, like black folks, like I said before, black owned business, like who cares about Gucci, Louis Vuitton, any of that stuff? If you ain't supporting black people, you ain't supporting nobody. So I don't care, so that's really my focus, because we can't really just keep looking at white folks like, look, see what they did,
right.
We need equality. Look, see, and like we been on this. Like you just talked about how 1968 the Grant Park, like that protest and that happening. Like stuff been happening, so it's like it is what it is. Like, okay, now black people, like, what we gonna do? Let's get it. Let's come together like the Harlem Renaissance. We had Strivers Row, black millionaires all in Harlem, and and we had the Cotton Club, and we were circulating this money here, and then white people coming from Midtown. Yeah, there was white people coming from Midtown up here to see Ella Fitzgerald come to the black neighborhood. They're like, we need that good dope. We need that good musical dope. But I mean specifically, if any feds listening, musical dope.
Totally watching me. You guys can't do that.
And we gonna go to the black neighborhood, and then we gonna take their money, and then we circulate our neighborhood, and then blow up before crack got dropped in the neighborhood. We need to get back to that point. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm just speaking to black people. Like, forget the other stuff.
Utopian Blacktopia. Let's go. Cynthia, what do you see?
Sir.
Other side of this. Is anything, you got any specific ask? What do you want?
I want there to be a national call to arms around COVID-19. I think that with 3,000 and 4,000 and 5,000 people dying a day, particularly in the black and brown community, it's time to declare war on COVID. I think the Army and every resource in this country needs to be figured toward how do we vaccinate people, how do we treat people, how do we care for people, how do we care for their families. Because I take great offense at people being reduced to a number.
Yeah.
This is somebody's mother, father, sister, brother, et cetera, and some people losing both their parents, children losing both their parents.
Right.
So I think that would be my first thing. We got to get something going with COVID. My next thing would be education, like Freddie B. I think that every frontline essential worker ought to have all of their student debt loan eliminated. I think that every nurse, every doctor, every EMT, everybody who's out there on the front line and has been on the front line for a year trying to deal with people with this COVID stuff, they should have no debt at all
right.
When they finish or whatever time they can't take it anymore. I also think that the way we educate our children, Black people, we need to take a page out of my dear people from Asia, and we need to create what back in my day they called it Freedom School, right? Where we had to go to school on Saturday and learn about Black folks, because see, they taught nothing about Black people when I was growing up. Right. The only thing I knew about Black folks was Step and Fetch It, right. and that dance and Mr. Bojangles. That's all we got. Yeah. That's all. That was it. We didn't get nothing else. And I think that where we do ourselves a disservice, even with regard to turning money over in our own community, is that we don't know anything about us. I was offended when Hidden Figures came out, because I was one of those little kids in the early 60s who was sitting around the television watching the people go to the moon. Yeah. And it wasn't until whenever that movie came out a few years ago that I knew that Black women had anything to do with that. So my question became, why did they not teach us that way back in 1962? Right. 61 or 60. Why didn't they teach us that? Well, there was a reason they didn't teach you that, Cynthia. They didn't teach you that because they didn't want you to think you would ever be that smart. Because everything they'd ever taught you was a limitation, where you could live, what you could do, how far you can reach. And I think that has kind of happened again in our community, even though we have more Black millionaires, more Black people are successful, more Black people have things. But at the core of it, we still don't know anything about ourselves. Wow. And I think that we just got to create some type of Saturday program or something to teach our kids ourselves. Because if we don't teach our kids anything, nobody else will. That's right. That's right. And they'll be sitting around stupid wearing Louis Vuitton stuff. Whereas if you go to the Louis Vuitton shop in France, they won't even let you in the door. Wow. That's the truth. That's the truth. I'm telling you what I know now. You go take your brown self to the Louis. I don't care if you got on Louis Vuitton from head to floor. Go ring that doorbell. They're going to look at you like, okay, keep going. They wouldn't let Oprah in.
I am sorry, who are you? You cannot come in.
They would not let Oprah. They said Oprah couldn't come in.
That's right. I remember that.
So that's what I'm telling you. So you enriching these people, making them multi-millionaires over and over and over and over and over. And then you go to their little store, they won't even let you in. Yeah. How insane is that?
Yeah. And after that, they put out a little apology. We're sorry. We love the Black community. We will never do that. We are striving for diversity. You look at the exec board. You look at the people working high up, and it be just a whole bunch of white folks.
You don't even have to go that far. Look at Undercover Boss. I don't even have to go I don't have to even go there. I can look at Undercover Boss boardroom and say, ain't no brother, sister, Mexican, Asian, nothing. Yeah.
That's real. I think, man, I'm so happy that, you both were able to lay out, the things that we want to see in greener pastures. Mine's a small. I got a couple of small things. One is big and one small. The big thing is I want to see all of these media people who have been defected because of things like, Trump and being ousted because they were telling the truth. I want to see us to come together and make our own thing. So Roland Martin, Dr. Boyce Watkins, Jamila Hill, Van Lathan, who left TMZ? Is it Van Jones or Van Lathan? I forget the guy's name.
I think it's Van Jones, right?
Van Jones? Yep. No. Van
is on CNN.
Van Jones. Van Jones is the one on CNN.
No, but the guy who got defected from TMZ. What was his name?
Yeah, Van Lathan.
Van Lathan. I want to see all the brothers, and sisters come together and make a media network. We can do it. If you need my technical expertise, I can help you build it. If you bring the funds, I'll bring the info, and I can actually help you build it, and we could be successful. We won't have to look back.
We need Dr. Umar Johnson.
Put him in there. I'll put them all in there. I'm not excluding nobody. I'm saying all of them come one, come all. And the other thing I would like to see is a formal apology from ESPN to Jamila Hill. I would love to see that because that sister was right and she was on point.
Jamel.
Let's say Jamila or Jamel. My bad.
Jamel.
Let me tell you, that sister was right and on point. And I have met her only one time. I worked for ESPN, and I've never said a Black woman has been intimidating, but she was intimidating and she didn't say nothing to me. She just walked towards me and was looking at me, and I was like, oh shit. Let me get out of her way. She just looked like she was about her business, you know? So I was like, oh, snap. She on, I don't know what she do, but I'm getting out her way, you know? And I would love for them to send her a formal apology. I don't care what she tweeted. You know, she was right. Listen, it seems we have way too many feelings about our country today, but I'm glad we have these feelings, and I'm glad we had this discussion. You know, thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Let the people know where they can find. Can the people find you on social media or any outlets that they can find, or do you not want to be found right now? Let me just.
Well. Let's.
She said you got the money, you can find her. You want to entertain her.
That's true.
Those who need to find me know where I am.
Okay.
But they can go to one of my websites, which is skytribepictures.com.
Okay. Y'all heard that right here. We'll put a link in the description below. Listen, again, thank you again. And for all y'all listening out there, make sure y'all send us a message. Our handles are in the description. Let us know how you feel about the state of our country right now. We'd love to hear your feedback. This has been a good one. I've been here with...
She made man Freddie B checking in for the one time.
This ain't the first time you checked in, Freddie. This is like the second or third time you done checked in.
Right, exactly. I got too many feelings right now. They all bubble up.
That's all bubbling up. And who else we had on the line today?
Cynthia A. Minor.
That's right. Ain't nothing minor about her. She's major, y'all. And I'm yours truly, T. Staples. And make sure you catch us next time when we have too many feelings. Peace.